We have a new update with ChatGPT that allows us to code with Canvas. Therefore, in today's video, we're going to see if this is any good, this code works, and everything above the board when it comes to coding with Canvas and ChatGPT. Just recently, OpenAI has released this new ability within ChatGPT that supposedly is better for coding. Now, if you know me, you already know that I've done a ton of videos on the topic of coding and specifically on the topic of coding of AI, whether you're using Cursor AI, Replit, custom instructions in ChatGPT to VS Code, whatever it may be. Let's see if this is any good, and let's see what they're doing here. Let's start off with a very simple sentence here and see what happens. Code an entire landing page front end in React for a fundraising event and donation tab. Hit enter. Let's see what happens. So we're going to get a different type of user interface here. So we'll expand like this. This is kind of similar to what we saw with Anthropic and Claude and Artifacts. But I'm actually curious what's about to happen right now. First major thing that's obviously really cool is we actually have the ability to type within the code file itself. All right, solid ChatGPT. Before it would just be like code outputs, copy paste. Oh, okay. And one of the features over here to the right allow you to do different things. So for example here, this is currently adding comments to everything because I simply tapped that right there and hit add comments. So this little shortcut, I went up here to add comments. And then what it did was it added comments to every single part of this code file so we can understand what it means. And just for reference, a comment is code that's not read by the application, rather it's read by you yourself to give you more context of what's happening here. Example, header, hero section, about event, like what is that? Oh, it's rendering these elements. Okay, that was pretty seamless as an option here. Let's see what other shortcuts we have here. So we have another shortcut here to add logs. If you don't know what logs is, like console logs, let's try that. So it's gonna do a little bit of loading here. And it kind of scours through. This is like very similar user interface that we saw with Cursor AI. There we go. So we're getting console logs all right here. All right, this is not bad. This is not bad. I actually like this pretty much. This is pretty nice because you could, in theory, paste an entire file and ask for very fast things, right? It's just like, give me comments, give me console logs. And it looks like it's specialized for this kind of shortcuts. Like the shortcuts are working good so far. Let's see what else we got. So the other two we have is fix bugs, which I assume there's probably none here, and then port to a language. Okay. Let's see what else we can do here. Next major thing that we can do within this user interface that we would alternatively have to have a conversation with ChatGPT is a back arrow. Think of this like Command Z, Control Z. When you mess up with a code, pops up right here. Restore this to this version, and it shows the version actually without the console logs. That's pretty solid. Restore to this version. Cool. This isn't bad. This is good. Can we handle multiple pages though? Let's go and ask. Okay, let's also create a contact page because if it can't handle multiple pages here, the use case may be you input code that you kind of want to touch up. It actually can, but the structuring is really wonky, y'all. To have this all in one code file is probably not the best practices, but what it's doing is that we have our landing page. It's rendering the header section, hero section. I'll zoom in a little bit. About event, donation tab, footer, standard stuff here. Then when we come down here, it's doing the exact same thing, but it's rendering the contact page. Oh, we can ask ChatGPT, learn something new. Before we test if we can create a whole separate file here, there's like a cool little feature here. You can ask ChatGPT, what is happening? What is a footer? And then this should get an answer here. This is not bad. This is definitely an improvement then, or at least in the context, an improvement in the sense of dealing with one file or messing with one file. Got our explanation over here. I'm gonna try create a new file just for contact.js. See what happens here. Okay, so it's rendering in the same file here. Maybe it's removing the contact part from this file so it can create a separate file here. Oops, an error occurred. It's all beta, y'all, so let me try again. Let's go up here real quick. Okay, cool. This is actually how they store different files. Come to this. All right, got it. So this is very much the workflow here. I'm understanding it. It's very much like PDFs or Excels. You upload a couple PDFs. You can kind of jump around between PDFs. Each one will have its own associated chat, and we can jump between them in this little file option here, which works. Seems fine. Obviously, we're missing a pretty fundamental part of web development or just development in general, which is the rendering part into like a localhost 3000 to see what this code would look like in a real application. Now, if you want to see that, check out this video right here. I'll show you how to do it in 30 minutes. But this is not bad. I like the direction it's going. It is interesting, though, that they really went the extra length here to create a whole separate section for the Canvas part. The reason I say that is because ChatGPT is used by pretty much the general population from any background, but obviously, they're showing a little bit more love to the coders. What's my consensus on this? I would say use it if you're basically trying to debug a file, mess with a file. Like you just basically have a file in your already like in your VS Code project or directory. You want to paste it over and kind of like ask questions, add comments, console logs, that kind of stuff. Use it in that context. It doesn't seem like you want to just go full blown, have 20 tabs open with 20 different files in ChatGPT 4.0 Canvas as of now. It is interesting that they took this step, though, as this basically tells you that they saw the momentum and traffic from Cursor AI or Replit and all these different IDEs and how much like interest there is around that. So if you want to see more stuff on that, check out this channel. But for now, I still don't think this is the best way to code. What's the best way to code, Corbin? I encourage you to check out my extremely like 3 hours and 11-minute video. If you really want an in-depth way of how to code with AI, like you actually are interested, check out that. It's a full-blown course of how to code with AI using ChatGPT, actually deploying a website, live link, custom, webhooks, everything. From like if you have zero idea how to code or little to no experience, that's going to be your best route, as I show you the real way to code with AI, which isn't necessarily just talking to a chat bot with the file actually in it. Sound good? I'll see you in the next video. It's Canvas. Time to code in the canvas. ChatGPT wants you to code in the canvas. Should you? Should you not? Let me know what you're doing. These are random videos. That's my face, and I'll see you in the next video.